Hi, this is Mr. Mack, and this is the concept video on variable, algebraic expressions, and formulas. Now, a variable is the fundamental concept of algebra, and it's the idea that if we don't know what the answer is, we will invent a symbol to stand for the answer. For example, we could have an answer that is the sum of two numbers, but we don't know what two numbers. So we could say the answer would be x plus y, where x and y are variables that represent numbers that we don't at present know. Now, if we did find out, for example, that x was 2 and y was 3, then our expression would actually, our x plus y expression would be something for x plus something for y. Now, in this particular case, since we now know that x is 2, we would put 2 in for x, and we would put 3 in for y, and that would give us an expression containing numbers that would give us the answer. The next thing that comes to mind is, well, what is the answer then? Well, the answer is 5. That's what you get when you add 2 and 3. See, the expression says add the two numbers. When we find out what the numbers are, we put them in for the variables, and then we evaluate that expression. The term evaluate means to give a value. Now, it's important to know what to do when you're doing algebra. So pay attention to words like simplify or solve or evaluate. Evaluate means to give a value or an answer. Now, when you have an expression in variables and you put numbers in and it's time to evaluate, sometimes you have to make choices as to what to do first. So we come up with what we call the order of operations. Now, I'm sure all of you have heard PEMDAS, P-E-M-D-A-S. Now, you'll notice I've written it a little differently here. P-E, and then M-D is in parentheses, and A-S is in parentheses. First of all, if you're evaluating an expression, P says that you would first do anything inside parentheses. That's where the P comes from. But any symbol of grouping, you would do what's inside first. E stands for exponentiation. So after you had done what's inside the parentheses, you would then come back and do the exponentiation. Now, MD is grouped together. A common misconception is that you would do the multiplications and then come back and do the divisions, but that's actually not true. You do multiplication and division in order as they appear from left to right together. In other words, if you had 6 divided by 2 times 4, you would divide 6 by 2 and get 3, and then you would multiply by 4. It would be incorrect to multiply the 2 by 4 and then divide 6 by 8. So you do multiplication and division in order as they appear from left to right. Addition and subtraction is the same thing. If you have 8 minus 2 plus 3, you would first subtract the 2 from the 8 to get 6, and then you would add 3 to get 9. What did we say this was? This would be 12. If you, in error, said, I'll add the 2 and the 3 and got 5, and then subtracted 5 from 8, you would get what we refer to as the wrong answer. Now, the difference between a formula and an expression is simply that with a formula, it is an algebraic expression that has some meaning. For example, pi r squared is an expression. It contains numbers and variables, But it's also a formula because this is the expression that gives us the area of a circle. So when you're evaluating an expression, if it has some meaning, we also think of it as a formula. And we're done.